YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's been almost a month that I've put a video out on the channel. I've actually recorded this video a couple different times. I didn't really know how to start it, so let's just first of all talk about where I've been and then talk about what we're doing in this video. So I finished the last game of the first season of the Washington football team. Had the draft coming up as well, a draft that I'm very excited to put on the YouTube machine and show you guys. We'll be doing two different franchises like I mentioned. I said the second franchise I wouldn't start until the scouting update. Convenient that I'm back recording once the update goes live. Couple other things franchise wise to talk about as well, but I just like balancing my new job. I've talked about it on Twitch and Twitter, but my motivation level for coming down here editing videos has been very sporadic lately, and it still is a little sporadic, but I feel like I'm at a point now where I have somewhat of an idea of how to formulate my schedule, hoping that that continues to get better as time goes on, because I miss being down here and putting videos up on YouTube, TikTok, and streaming on Twitch, man. It's been a big part of my life this past year. Helped me a lot during COVID. Now that the world's not back to normal, but that now that we're pretty much back to normal, and I've started a new job, trying to find that balance, that work-life balance, and this is a big part of my life. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to start a second franchise for you guys with the new scouting update, and like I mentioned, Washington football team still not going away. Year 2 of that starting right after this video goes live, but we are starting a new franchise on Madden 22, and that franchise will be centering around a team with a lot of draft picks, and a lot of teams have been, or a lot of people have been asking who the team is going to be that I'm going to be using in the second franchise on the channel. A lot of people mentioning Dolphins, a lot of people mentioning Eagles, but after looking at like the potential draft picks that are available, after looking at a ton of stuff like that, I figured that the most excitement that I would have doing this is, you know, a team that's not very good, a team that we can eventually build up. They have a lot of missing pieces on their team, and they have a very good draft like possibility looking up in 22, because that's the whole point of scouting update, is utilizing your scouts to find the best potential talent out there. And a couple things to note that I want to bring up right away: in the Washington football franchise, ran a realistic draft class for 22. 23, it'll be auto-generated people the rest of the way. I want to do auto-generated for this class specifically. Like a lot of people might feel super immersed, and depending on how the comments go, I could still change that in the second week if we want to. Personally, I think it's more fun to go into the unknown, because you know how the draft class looked on the Washington football franchise. You know what guys were scouted high, what guys were scouted low. And although these won't be real players, I think that it'll provide for much more dramatic storylines, and looking at like there potentially being a huge crop of talent in one position grade that isn't there on the actual draft class that Bengal uploaded. But with Bengal in mind, the team that I have decided to play as in this franchise mode, the second one will be none other than the New York Football Giants. They have a lot of draft picks coming up in 22. Saquon Barkley, someone we could potentially trade to get more draft picks. I just think there's a lot of intrigue centered around the New York Giants, and we will be, as I cycle myself over here, we will be making an auto, or like a fake coach in me. So with that being said, I'm going to make the coach, and we'll talk about the team here in just a second. So a couple notes for people that either are curious what the settings are or just want some advice on franchise mode. So first of all Madden Simulation is what we're playing on. A button that you should have had off for a while is progressive fatigue. This was, according to the title update, fixed. We'll find out how great it is in the franchise here, obviously, but progressive fatigue sounds exactly like what it is. It's fatigue throughout the season in practice, and like whether you use full pads, half pads, whatever. And the issue with progressive fatigue was in like the playoffs, the CPU teams would be playing third stringers the whole way because the main guys were super gassed because they didn't know how to balance progressive fatigue earlier in the year. It was updated to work properly, so I'm excited on that. And then we will be doing 10-minute quarters as well, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how this franchise looks with the New York Football Giants, and we'll be coaching this team. And you know, I mentioned Saquon Barkley potentially could get traded. We'll talk about scouting once the season starts here, because the scouting update is the main reason why I'm super excited to start a second franchise. But let's advance things over to the regular season. I won't be doing preseason on here. I know that I'm going to be doing preseason for year 2 of Washington. Preseason still is interesting, but the whole intrigue of starting this series is looking at scouting updates. I want to showcase that and get things moving forward to week 1. So with the new franchise here, week 1, we will be playing the game against the Broncos as well. First of all, I want to look more than anything at if we had any key injuries in the preseason. And we did. Levine Tololo, Achilles tear, out for 25 weeks. Dante Pettis broke his ribs. He's only out for 1 more week. I'm assuming that happened early in the preseason. So we're going into week 1 with basically a healthy roster, which is very exciting. We'll spend our franchise points in a little bit, but I want to talk again about the draft class. I get that I could download Bengals roster and have like, I'm still open to college football talk. I like how a lot of the comments were derived on get this quarterback, get that guy, get this guy, don't get that guy. I think the fun of franchise is the unknown, and we're playing a video game. This is not real life, but you know, I think the fun of this is that these draft classes with auto-generated rookies are going to be incredibly unpredictable, where we knew that Kyle Hamilton was a safety out of Notre Dame that people wanted to see. We knew that Malik Willis is having a great season for Liberty at quarterbacks. Like, this is the unknown that I think is so fun, and what I've enjoyed watching Bengals videos and having auto-generated rookies. So that is what I'm going to do, is have auto-generated rookies. And we'll talk about the scouting class here in a little bit, but I want to begin by looking at actually I want to look at scouting. So let's talk about scouting a little bit. So this screen is way different than what it used to look like in the previous like iteration of Madden when it first launched. So I'm going to put Bengals video in the description of breaking down the entire scouting update. I'll talk about it a little bit, but the main point of what I'm trying to say is that I will talk about it briefly, but I'm not going to spend the entire video breaking down everything scouting, because I don't want this to be a 2-hour video and be redundant. I think Bengals does a good job of explaining it, so that video is in the link in the description below, as well as a link to my socials if you guys would like to follow me over there. But looking at scouting, you have a tier 3 scout, a tier 2 scout, which as of right now is Rachel Bridges, and then a bunch of tier 1 scouts as well. So in like essentially, if you look at scouting now, they have top prospect strengths and weaknesses. You want to go in a little bit of a deeper comb of the draft class and look at what you need, but you want your tier 3 scout to be national, because the tier 3 scout's the best scout that you have. They have a 10% efficiency boost when scouting certain positions, so they'll be able to scour the entire country. As of right now, McLaughlin looking at left and right end. That's not where I want my tier 3 to be looking at. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but like, you have a brief synopsis on prospects, strengths, weaknesses in each part of the country, and I'm very excited about this, man. This is going to be fun to kind of hone in your importance on certain positions, and let's look at what positions we should be scouting with the Washington, or the I almost said Washington. That video's tomorrow. The New York football team here. So if we look at our team needs on the right side of the screen, obviously the Giants have had a lackluster offensive line for quite some time. That is definitely an area that I'm going to be looking to upgrade, in particular the guard play, left guard, right guard. Center, I wouldn't mind as well. I know Daniel Jones, not a great quarterback, but you know, we could survive with him for a little bit. Also, can maybe look at free agency for a quarterback. Also, we should look at how great the quarterback draft class is looking here, if this something we maybe want to target. But looking defensively, I want to be focusing left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker as well. And I know they give good grades on cornerbacks and left end, right end. I feel like we could do better there still, so I will be focusing some on defensive line as well. But more than anything, we're going to be looking to bolster this offensive line. A lot of interesting wide receivers, including, we'll show the lineup here. A guy that you should have on your fantasy team, a guy you should have on your fantasy team if you play fantasy football, Kadarius Thuuuuney, having a great start to his season. My name is Thuuuuney. We got Thuuuuney on the team. I think that's kind of cool, but he's got a hidden development trait. I want to get him as much play as possible, so he'll be playing early and often in the wide receiving core for the football, or I keep saying football team. The New York Giants here. So with that, maybe bumping somebody down to, or maybe trading away, maybe not trading away Kenny Golladay, but there's a lot of needs on this team, and we have a lot of talent that I don't think we necessarily need. Like, I think we could survive without Kenny Golladay, although I would like to have him and maybe look at ditching Barkley for some draft picks. Like, that's why I love week 1 videos, because people can comment what we should do with the Giants here. But with scouting, it has a big change in how it's looked in the past, where you would like just put in, like your scouting points and do that, and then you'd be done. Now we have projections on their talent level. You have questions on talent completion percentage. That completion percentage goes up as the season goes on, and depending on where you put scouts at. So if I look at our team needs right away, I know that we need guards really bad. Let's look at the guards right away. And we have about 2 guards that are identified as top tier talent, at least projected, and then it falls off pretty quickly from there. If we go to right guard, we have really only 1 guy, and then it turns into day 3 talent. What is the center looking like here? Center looks okay. We have 1 key guy out of Alabama in Reyes, but looking at tackle play as well, tackle's very interesting. So we have a top 5 projected pick and at least like 3 guys that are basically round 1. Now, this isn't set in stone. Guys could be like hidden steals of the draft, obviously. But looking right now, left tackle looks like the best position of the offensive line. And if we look at quarterback, there's 2 projected top 5 talents. Lions franchise great Alex Morrison, and then Elijah Gregory, day 1 or rounds 1 through 2, and the quarterback Louisville. But outside of that, a lot of day 3 quarterbacks. So I mentioned that we could survive with Daniel Jones, and I would maybe like to look at Mike Day in that round 3 or 4. I don't envision us spending a quarterback pick in the top first 2 rounds. I think we have a lot of other needs outside of there, like linebacking core. So let's look at linebackers really quick. We have 2 projected top-ish guys at left outside, right outside. We have 2 round 1s and 3 round 2 or 3. So right outside linebacker looks interesting. What's middle linebacker look like? The Giants do run a 3-4, so loading up on as many linebackers as possible is awesome. And we have some other rounds 2 or 3 guys as well. So linebacker looks pretty solid. So that's definitely going to be a focus for us. And let's go look at our scouting here. So I'm going to just show you guys something and fire everybody. Like, you can literally do this, and you don't have a cap. Now, it'd be kind of cool if there was a cap, like you can only fire a certain number of people. That's not the case. You can fire scouts like at will, pretty much, based on whatever your needs are. So you can get 1 tier 3 scout, 1 tier 2, and then 3 tier 1s. So if we sort up to tier 3 right away, I mentioned that I think linebacker is a position need. Guard play is a position need for us as well. And like Alan Faneca, obviously, like a lot of these guys are, not a lot, but a lot of people on here are former NFL players. So that's pretty exciting. But, we want to bolster the offensive line. So I'm going to hire Alan Faneca to be one of our scouts. And he's going to be the national scout because he's at tier 3. You want to put the tier 3 scout as the national guy. Going to tier 2 scouts. We saw some good linebacker names that were popping up, and Rachel Bridges is a left outside, right outside linebacker specialist at tier 2. So I will hire on Rachel Bridges as well. And then the rest of it, looking at scouts, we have to go tier 1 the rest of the way. So if we have a quarterback tier 1 scout available, I would love to pick that up, but I am not seeing a quarterback tier 1 scout. So unfortunately, like if I'm not mistaken, the only tier 3 scout available for this first season as a quarterback scout is Kenny Ramsey. So I don't want to spend a tier 3 on a quarterback when I feel like we could survive with Daniel Jones, or maybe go via free agency next year, or even via trade. So as of right now, Zach Strickland, left end, right end specialist. There was some good ends that we looked at. I'll hire on Strickland. I want to sort this by tier 1, so I don't have to keep flying around like that. Also, looked at some good linebacker play as well. Luis Chambers could be someone we look at. But I like looking at like doubling up offensive line if we can. Is there tackle tier ones? If we have tackle tier ones, that would be fantastic. We have a tier 2 in Connie Seau, Junior Seau's wife. I'm not, well, that wouldn't make sense because Junior Seau was a linebacker. I was just trying to connect the dots with Seau there, but I'm not seeing any tackle scouts at all. So maybe I think for right now we keep it the way it is and we just double up on some. Is there a primary center focus at all? That's a tier 1 scout. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. There's tier 2 center scouts, which I guess is what we'll have to work with right now in Mark Hayes. So hire on Mark. Do I have 5 or do I have 4? So I have 1 more that I have to hire, and we can't find a quarterback one, unfortunately. So I'll bring on Chris Stokes to be middle linebacker scout. We have our 5 scouts, and now we want to look at the kind of region breakdown and where we are putting people at. So Rachel Bridges, I'm going to assign to the southeast. I think it was southeast, I'm pretty sure, based on what I saw like top linebacker play at. Our tier 3 scout Alan Faneca going to be our national scout, and then let's go look at the rest of the way. So Zach Strickland is a left and right end specialist. What regions are, was I right on Bridges with they don't have it in the top 5, but I thought, was it northeast that was maybe. And then Strickland, I'm going to put him in the southeast. And then Mark Hayes, going to be looking at a central scout here based on what we saw on offensive line. And then Chris Stokes, finally, our west scout. And now our scouting is set up, everybody in their regions. And if we go to this key info here, as I mentioned, Bengals video description does a lot better job of explaining this. It's not like every single week you like have stuff to do. Like, you have the first couple weeks where you set stuff up, but then after that, it's basically just kind of keeping an eye on what the pool looks like. Like, we don't really have anything to do until week 7 for scouting, but there is a lot of fun stuff to do. And I want to show a little bit of that when we get near that time of the video or in the season, but we are in week 1 with the Giants, so let's cover that. So setting our season goal with the Giants, I mean, we should be very conservative. This is not a good football team. Commit to your goal for the year. Conservative goal, long-term team building over short-term success. I think I agree with that. In like a 4, now we could easily win more than 4 games, but I want to make sure we don't get fired. So we go into our keys to victory against Denver in week 1, who I think we could beat. Opening day this week and a fresh start for every team around the league, and you'd be facing the Broncos. Key to victory. Stifling defense. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback of Denver. Don't think he's a phenomenal quarterback by any means. He's a decent quarterback, but starts the defense. We plan on making their offense comfortable, keeping them off the scoreboard as much as possible. I agree. You mentioned making their offense uncomfortable. Where does that start? You know, they have Melvin Gordon over there, but I mean, the pass game in the NFL is the most important. So we're going to be trying to control the skies. Great pass defense leads to a lot of great things. It makes it much harder for them to score and win the game. So I don't think that we're going to be a playoff team. Obviously, the whole part of this is long-term team building, getting those scouts set up in the right spot. So with that, I want to start looking at our staff, and then we'll get into the actual game itself. But based on the skill tree that we picked, a lot of intrigue here. So we have turning off multi-week injury, but we also, because of this, have a lot of XP potential growth for a lot of our offensive talent. And offense rules the NFL. So if we can get this, so I'm going to pick this right away, and then we'll have to save up for the next one here. But I love these XP potential boosts in the player growth tree here. This is why I'm so excited, because we could potentially have a very killer offense in the future, maybe looking at a free agent quarterback or a trading quarterback as well, because I don't envision us going top quarterback right in the draft. We'll kind of see how that works there. But we get into week 1 matchup with the Denver Broncos, and I want to showcase the roster. Some people might not know what's going on in New York, but I mentioned that we have 2 guys at hidden development. Thuuuuney is one of them. Kadarius Thuuuuney, I want to get him as much reps as possible, so I might even bench or not bench, but move him over Slayton in the depth chart to do so. Have some skill points we'll add in a little bit. Defensively, also have hidden development in Azeez Ojulari. I might be saying his name incorrectly, and if I am, I apologize. But Mr. Ojulari here, hidden development trait, so we want to get him as much play as possible. I wish we had more hidden development guys. We only have 2, but I'm going to be elevating him to a starter because, I mean, we want to get him as much reps as possible because, I mean, we're not going to be making the playoffs with this team at all. But Kadarius Toney, going to elevate him over Darius Slayton. And how I think the Giants are going to operate. We got to have a quick hitting offense because we don't have we don't have a good offensive line at all. Graham Gano, good kicker, obviously, but Saquon Barkley, someone that I honestly think it wouldn't be the worst idea ever to look at potentially trading Saquon Barkley. You want to keep boosting his elusive ratings, getting up to a 91 overall, which is very exciting. But an injury-prone running back and a running back that has a high overall superstar X factor, you could get a lot for Barkley. So I think it'd be interesting to look at potentially trading him, but that's up to you guys in the comments if you'd like to see that at all. Now, before we get into our week 1 matchup with the Denver Broncos, we do finally have progressive fatigue off, so player health is something we'll be looking at, but we begin by looking at how to stop Denver. I want to defend the short passes. Teddy Two Gloves, check down specialist in Teddy Bridgewater. I like that. Looking at our defensive health, I am when I did this earlier before we had progressive fatigue off. I like full pads to start and then half pads as the year goes on. Full pads gets higher XP and game day focus boosts in practice, but a higher injury risk. And we don't have any fatigue to worry about right now, so I'm cool with full pads on everybody. Getting a nice hard-nosed practice right away. Going into the offensive scheme here. With Daniel Jones and the offense, I want to throw it short. I mentioned we got to have a quick hitting offense with the receivers we have, with a poor offensive line that we have. Barkley, obviously a big part of this team, but as of right now, really looking at getting Toney involved as much as possible. So full pads on the offense there as well. And then our focus gentlemen to be looking at here. So Azeez Ojulari, Kadarius Toney, hidden development traits. We have them focused in practice. And then the third guy that I think I want to focus on before we unlock more focus points, I'm going to focus on Andrew Thomas, our left tackle. It'd be really cool if we could potentially get a pretty solid not superstar development, but exciting development on Andrew Thomas. So that's one other position we could avoid drafting. But I'm going to start actually our game day goal. First of all, against the Broncos, let's go to our head coach. First of all, I think we should win the turnover battle against Denver. I think that offensively, rushing for 150 doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility with Saquon Barkley. Defensive coordinator, I do not want to... Let's pick it off twice against Teddy. I think we could do that. And then as much staff points as possible as I want. We're not going to get 5 rushing touchdowns. We could look at potentially getting 5 sacks, 200 yards rushing. Let's do that. Let's just focus a lot on running the football in short game as well. And we'll go into our training. And as we mentioned every week, everybody hold your breath and pray that we don't have any injuries in practice here. And we, off the rip, have a fantastic injury in practice, an ACL sprain on Saquon Barkley. We are already off to a tremendous start offensively for the Giants. Great. So Devontae Booker, our number 1 running back, and then Brightwell is actually the RB2 in New York, so Brightwell will be there. Barkley obviously not playing this week. Kadarius Toney up in the 2-hole. Ojulari, right outside linebacker, going to get his development going with him being a starter. And we should be ready to go for week 1 here. So I mentioned that we more than likely are not going to be a playoff team, but we're going to treat every game with as much intensity as possible because I'm not completely ruling out that we can maybe be a wild card team. I doubt that happens, but a lot of intriguing draft picks in 2022. Saquon out for week 1 here. You know, I'm just excited to get another franchise going. Daniel Jones, probably not the quarterback of the future, but he is our quarterback right now. And the second franchise on the YouTube channel, I mentioned the football team one will start up soon, but the second franchise on the YouTube channel in the New York Football Giants, we are about to be underway. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy the ball game here. So starting with the football in New York, we are underway here in week 1, and Ross is gonna take that one off his helmet. What in the world just happened there? So with those quick hitting plays, former Viking Kyle Rudolph, I'll definitely be feeding him as much as possible. Sure-handed tight end as well. On play action, Rudolph on the pass from Daniel Jones, and sure-handed Kyle Rudolph can't hold on to that out route. We'll have 3rd down. 3rd and 3. Onto the single back, looking for Thuuuuney, and that one's going to be intercepted by Daniel Jones. And that might be a pick 6 to start the season. Trying to sneak that one in to Kadarius Thuuuuney. Not a great start for the Giants. Daniel Jones already with a turnover to start here. I want to get Thuuuuney as much reps as possible. I thought that I read man on that play. Evidently, I did not. Luckily for us, it is early in the game. Still plenty of football left. I'm not really worried about Teddy Bridgewater. If you remember from the Washington football franchise, we handled the Broncos pretty well. So I'd imagine that we could stick with them to some degree on here as well. And we do have a flag on the kickoff. Let's see what this one... Illegal block in the back on us. So starting at the 10-yard line. So a rough start for the Giants season. Let's see if we can get some positive momentum here. And now on 2nd and 7, Broncos might be dialing up some pressure here. Looking to throw. Evan Ingram will pick up a gain, and then a fumble on the play, and he'll be brought down to the 14-yard line. So Evan Ingram, who's turnover prone in real life as well, already turning over the football, and a disastrous start for the New York Giants here at home in front of their home crowd. Blake Martinez obviously hurt in real life, but Blake Martinez in at linebacker here, and Melvin Gordon stiff arms one. Broncos already inside the 10-yard line on their first offensive drive of the game. This is not what you wanted to see if you're a Giants fan. Bridgewater looking to throw on 2nd down. He'll throw it underneath, and a hit went for, but that's going to fall into the end zone. A touchdown for the Denver Broncos on the underneath route to Jerry Jeudy. And we're 2 minutes in to the first game of the season, and we are already down 14-0. Now, a couple things to note. You could go into full-blown pass play in the playbook. This game really hasn't even started yet. Like, we've had interception, a fumble by Evan Ingram. The Broncos got the ball inside the red zone. Like, nothing for the Giants has really gone our way. So I'm not... Another flag. Is this on us again? I mean... What an awful start. So, I mean, less than 30 yards combined of total offense so far this game. Daniel Jones looking to throw in a screen on 1st down. And we have Devontae Booker to the outside. That matches the longest. Actually, it doesn't match. It's only 5 yards. But still looking for our first down. Still looking for just any semblance of happiness on the offense so far. And now on 2nd and 5 in the shotgun, Daniel Jones going to be looking to throw here, and he'll have to the outside a good throw to Darius Slayton, and finally a 1st down for the New York Giants. Good route on the outside. Corey Clement in at running back here on 3rd and 9. Going to try to get Thuuuuney some separation on the outside here. Looking to throw, and Daniel Jones on the run. He's going to be wrapped up for a sack. Looking for a route on the outside, just wasn't open, and at least this disastrous start is going to be pinning the Broncos deep in their own territory. Hopefully on a good punt here from Dixon, who's had a great season so far IRL. This punt down to, why could I not come in on the tackle there? They start at the 44, so good field position once again for the Denver Broncos. And we continue with New York here in this disastrous start. Let's see what the Broncos can do offensively now they at least don't start in the red zone. On the run is Teddy Bridgewater. He has a man open in Cortland Sutton, but he overthrows his intended target. 2nd and 10. And I mentioned I feel like the strength of this team as of right now is the defense, and Teddy Bridgewater not a great quarterback by any means, and we'll see how he does here. And he throws that one away, and we got third down. Going to be coming in on a blitz here with Love on 3rd and 10, sending 5. Teddy still time to throw, goes underneath. Blake Martinez was wrapped up in a route that went downfield with Jerry Jeudy. A little check down to Melvin Gordon, wide open. And that is going to be a first down for the Denver Broncos. Now inside the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Teddy under center, Melvin Gordon, the tailback. Going to be a handoff to the outside. Gordon brought down for about a gain of 5, and just a real ugly start. 3rd and 5. There was an update to defense in Madden as well, so I wonder if pressing would work here on 3rd down. Looking to throw is Teddy Bridgewater on the run. He's setting back up, and he's going to try to throw this one away. Actually thought he would tuck that and run with it. But Broncos, decent field position. They'll be settling for a field goal, though. I mentioned Teddy Bridgewater, not a phenomenal quarterback. Broncos don't have a phenomenal offense by any means, but we are down 17 early. Our number 1 playmaker on offense is out for this game, and we'll have to find someone to be a bright spot. And hopefully that's Kadarius Thuuuuney. Devontae Booker hasn't looked great so far, and we'll avoid that penalty on the kickoff and start the 25-yard line. I think we're going to have to try and take a gamble and throw this ball downfield and try to at least, we haven't thrown to Kenny Golladay yet. Going to keep Clement in for pass protection here on 3rd and 10. Looking for somebody to the outside, and a good throw by Daniel Jones will hit Darius Slayton for the first down. Second time this game that Darius Slayton has picked up a big first down on 3rd down, and the offense hopefully looking to continue moving here. I like the box the Broncos are in, so I'm going to audible to a run, and this one handed off to Corey Clement with room to run to the outside. The former Eagle and Corey Clement picks up 14, and the Giants for the first time today are past midfield. Very, very intriguing and exciting. And now here on 1st and 10, looking to call a little play action. Jones will call it on the run. Thuuuuney with room to run. Thuuuuney will pick up his first reception of the year, a modest 5-yard gain, but the Giants kind of moving the football here. Play action call here. Broncos dialing up some pressure, and we have a man open. It's Thuuuuney downfield, and he'll pick up another first down. 21-yard gain for Daniel Jones and the offense, and the Giants are moving the football here. So still moving the football here on 2nd and 7. Note, we haven't thrown to Kenny Golladay at all, and we will continue to not do that. End zone intercepted. Offense drives all the way down the field just to throw an interception in the end zone. Daniel Jones' 2nd interception of the game. At least some promise offensively as Melvin Gordon's blown up for a tackle. And one of the intrigues of the Washington football franchise was that there was a potential for some quarterback controversy. I mean, Daniel Jones is clearly like the number 1 quarterback here and the guy that we have to go with, as this is going to be a handoff to Melvin Gordon. Some guys fall in pancakes, and Melvin Gordon gets a big gain on 1st down. Hoping for some pressure on Teddy Two Gloves here on 2nd and long. Handoff up the middle. Blake Martinez will wrap up Melvin Gordon close to the marker, and he will get the first down. So going to go back to a traditional 3-4, try and get some more pressure, and try and get some different looks on Teddy, who's had a great game so far. Ojulari, keep your eyes on the right side of the screen in a zone here on 1st and 10, looking to throw, and he'll have a man wide open down to the 44-yard line. Good throw by Teddy Bridgewater. Have no idea where the defense was on that play. Sending a blitz here on 2nd down. Denver throwing the football here. Teddy looking to run downfield. This will be caught, and what is that, dude? Jabril Peppers animates away from the ball. Denver just gets a walk-in touchdown. Love Madden sometimes. Thought for sure that should have been intercepted or at least batted down, but instead Denver gonna be up by 23 here. Can we run this one back? Ojulari heading this one down the 35-40, 30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5. First points of the game go to the rookie Ojulari on the blocked extra point, and that will turn it from a four possession game rather into a 3-possession game. Now 21-point lead for Denver, and the Giants, in the most uncharacteristic way possible, are on the board here in the Meadowlands. Brightwell in at tailback here on 1st and 10. Giants looking to run. Brightwell to the outside with room to run. He's got one man to beat. He'll break off of him and get tackled by a safety to the 38. What a run by Gary Brightwell, and we're right back into the game in field goal range. Looking to not have a turnover here, though. We've had turnovers on every drive offensively. 1st and 10, looking to throw, gonna have a man, and it will be caught for a gain of 8 to Devontae Booker. Jones under center, handoff to the outside to Devontae Booker. He will be consumed at about the 15. And we got to get a touchdown here. I don't want it to get to 3rd down. That's the things get a little risky. We'll see what we can do on 2nd. Brightwell, the key guy on the play action here. Brightwell with room to run. Brightwell cuts it upfield just underneath the 1st down marker to the 8, and we'll have 3rd and 1. Brightwell's been playing very good football so far. Gonna try to keep getting him the ball here on a toss play on 3rd and 1. Sending Galladay in motion. Daniel Jones, a snap to the outside. Brightwell will maybe get the edge. We'll see if the call. It's 4th and inches. And I think the offense is gonna stay out there. Gonna look to go to a Daniel Jones QB sneak here. And the Broncos are not in a good defense to stop this at all. Daniel Jones, and the QB sneak will get. It looked like he got past the 7. They say he doesn't, but we do get the 1st down. Giants continuing to move the football here. And Brightwell, the man being called on once again on 1st and 10. Brightwell's had a great game. He leads our team in rushing, and a cut to the inside. Brightwell gets down to about the 5, up to 40 yards rushing, and we'll have 2nd and goal. Jones looking to throw on 2nd and goal. Ingram intercepted again. I mean, what is that? Ingram wraps him up at the 17-yard line, but dude, like, he's wide. I know I'm not seeing things. I know I might have thrown this ball a little bit too late. I should have probably thrown it like right around here. But like, why does that happen? That the DB just steps up in the route? Like, why can't Ingram? Now this ball is thrown behind Ingram, so that is a fault on Daniel Jones. Like, what I wanted to happen was the ball being thrown like here. And it's thrown, like, it ends up there. Like, I want this ball like around like this area, but we do have Daniel Jones at quarterback. Another red zone turnover, and the Giants fans probably going to their kitchen and yelling profusely and grabbing something to drink. And a handoff. Blake Martinez will stop Melvin Gordon's 2nd and goal. Good job by Blake Martinez finding a way in there. But Teddy under center, 2nd and goal, strong formation to the left. Blake Martinez for the 2nd play in a row will make a play on Melvin Gordon. We'll have 3rd and goal. Could the Giants potentially get an interception here? The Broncos look like they're playing run. We'll see what Teddy does here on 3rd and goal. Heavy goal line formation. Handoff up the middle. Blake Martinez makes the play, and then he's brought into the end zone with the tackle. Would have clearly been stopped for 4th and goal. An injury on the play for the Giants, and that extra point is good, and we are down 28 points here in just the first half. 30-2 is your score. Andrew Beck picks up his first rushing touchdown of the year, and an ugly start for the New York Football Giants here. Like, man defense for the Broncos, and Slayton near the sideline will not make the play. Bad throw by Daniel Jones. Great route. Everybody pretty much open there, but just not enough to get the 1st down. And now on 3rd and 3, got to try to get a big 1st down here. Looking for Kenny Galladay. He will make the play. Offense continuing to move. Really not a bad game from Daniel Jones so far. The highlight is the interceptions. Like, that's the number one issue. Thuuuuney might have a step. Now going into double coverage. This is terrifying. Why did he not animate on that route? What? Madden, hello. That's the 3rd time this game that we've had like a guy does not animate at all on a play. Daniel Jones with 4 interceptions this game. And the Broncos starting with their worst field possession of the day, and it's not going to matter. There goes Melvin Gordon. 50, 45, 40, all the way to the 43-yard line. Melvin Gordon, the Giants finally get the Broncos stopped with bad field position, and the woes continue for these Giants. I feel like this is the most unlucky game of Madden that I've ever played at this point. Shotgun set, Melvin Gordon is tailback to his right, and Teddy on 3rd and 12 looking to throw. He's into a screen to Melvin Gordon, who will be wrapped up at the 44-yard line. Giants call a timeout. McManus has the leg. Is the wind going to be a factor? And it will. They will be punting this one away. Well, I almost wonder what Evan Ingram's looking at here. Maybe sending Thuuuuney underneath. It looks like man coverage. That's what I'm curious about. 3rd down. Looking for Slayton to the sideline. That ball will be incomplete, intended for Darius Slayton. And on 4th and 5, already down by this many points. A team that's probably not a playoff team. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy and see what we can do here on 4th down. Gonna keep Clement in to block. Trying to get somebody open on the outside. Kenny Golladay, great separation. Kenny Golladay, 1st down. Offense is moving. Good job by our top wide receiver to get open there. Now on 1st and 10, looking to throw. Gonna have this one thrown away by Daniel Jones. 21 seconds left in the first half. The ball deep didn't work too well last time, but if they're blitzing a safety, I want to see what Thuuuuney can do. Ingram actually the man open. Ingram gonna be attempted to get a strip sack. He fumbled, or strip fumble. And I want him to get out of bounds because tackled in play, so have to call a timeout there. And now we have to be weary of just losing this half in general. Nearing the end of the first half, looking for Kenny Golladay to the outside. Kenny Golladay will make the play in bounds. That's probably all she wrote. Did not animate to get out of bounds there, and unfortunately a good drive for the Giants once again is thwarted, this time by the clock itself. But man alive, it has been rough going here in this first half, and the Broncos will get the ball to begin the second half. Kenny Golladay, 4 receptions for 45 yards. Giants only points of the game coming off a blocked extra point that was housed for 2. Giants have gotten the red zone 2 times this game, actually 3 times I believe, and all 3 red zone trips have resulted in 0 points. So now Broncos single back under center, looking to throw his Teddy Bridgewater, and he's going to look to go to the outside. Melvin Gordon, big hit though. No fumble to be had for our defense, and it will be 2nd and 4. Teddy in the pistol formation, heavy set for both teams here. Going to be a handoff up the middle to Melvin Gordon. He'll be wrapped up at the 41-yard line, and we'll have a big 3rd down. You want any hope of the Giants coming back in this game? Going to need a big play defensively here on 3rd down. Teddy looking to throw, looking potentially outside. That one batted as Teddy throws to the line of scrimmage, and it will be 4th and 4. There's no way we're about to pull off this comeback. I mean, we haven't even had a drive offensively result in points yet. So, boy, if we can hold on, I'd love to see Booker to the outside. Blitz coming in. Thuuuuney actually looking for Slayton to the outside. He breaks off a tackle. Slayton cuts this one inside. Down to the 42-yard line. Another injury on Denver. That helps us as the clock will stop. Daniel Jones in the offense moving. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Daniel Jones looking to throw. He's got Ingram wide open. Ingram cuts it upfield. Shoestring tackle down to the 43. Hurry up offense once again. Great day if you're a fantasy owner of anybody on the team, but not great if you're Daniel Jones. Thuuuuney will get this one down to the 35-yard line, field goal range for the Giants. 2nd and 3. Offense continuing to move at the 35-yard line. Play action looking for a pass downfield. He might have Thuuuuney. This one overthrown, though, by Daniel Jones. And we'll have our first 3rd down of the drive. Looking to hand this one off to Devontae Booker. He'll cut this one down to about the 32, and it will be enough for a 1st down. Nearing the red zone for the 3rd time today. Can they finally prove it fruitful, though? Golladay, room to run, overthrown by Daniel Jones. Jeez Louise, man. So Brightwell, who's had 40 yards rushing, in on this 2nd and 10 pitch play to the outside. Trying to get Brightwell some room to run, and he's got nothing to be had there. A good game for Brightwell. That carry thwarted though, and we'll have a big 3rd down. I almost want to test Golladay downfield here. Might be a horrible idea considering how this game has gone. Slayton does not make the play. Shoot. 4th and 10, down by 28 points. You can't take 3 here. You gotta go for broke. I don't want to do too many altering of the play calls here. Maybe look at Slayton on the outside. Are they running man? Are they not? I'm not sure. Man, just awful play calling there. So Giants once again, story of this game. No routes were really going downfield. That was just poor play calling once again. And if you're a Giants fan, you've probably facepalmed about 37 times this game, and I apologize for that, but that will almost continue. Like, Teddy hasn't played well, man. Just have given the Broncos a lot of opportune plays here. Eat a big stop here at the 40-yard line. Teddy under center. Melvin Gordon is tailback. Handoff Melvin Gordon, room to run. He's got one man to beat in Jabril Peppers, who makes the tackle at the 44-yard line. That probably is all she wrote. 2nd and 10, Teddy in the shotgun set, bunches to his right. Melvin Gordon coming in to block. This one thrown over the middle, off the tight end, one-on-one. Holmes to the outside. He'll break off of that tackle and get down to the 3-yard line. And man alive. What a weird first game of the season, dude. So 3rd and goal, Teddy in a pistol set. Probably looking to throw here. Sending a wide receiver in motion. This might be Z-spot to the right. It's going to be a pass. Teddy looking. He might have a man to the outside. Now cutting back over is Ojulari, and Teddy throws that one away. And if you're a Bronco fan, this has got to be the ugliest 33 points that I've ever seen. Their offense hasn't looked all that impressive. A couple of weird plays have resulted in touchdowns for the Broncos, but more than likely going to be a loss here. Definitely going to be a loss here in week 1 for the Giants. But can we get some positive morale and get our first touchdown period of the season on this drive? You hope so. Total yardage 258 to 248 for the Giants and the Broncos. Pretty even. And the score couldn't be further from even there. And just a really interesting ball game. 2nd and 6. Want to try and get something going with Devontae Booker. Although down by so many points, the running the football doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Booker brought down at about the 31. Having a big issue in finding room to throw, room to run. Thuuuuney with room to run here will get him to the outside. He'll break off a tackle and cut this one in and get down to the 40-yard line. So Kadarius Thuuuuney, who's got the hidden development, we're trying to get him as much upgrades as possible. Having some good plays here late, and this might be where we either have another interception or get our first touchdown of the year. We shall see. And Daniel Jones going to run this one upfield, and he'll get about 7. Vanilla Vic, coined by Bangle on the play there. Daniel Jones with some legs. What is Daniel Jones doing? What just happened? So I don't know what just happened, but we come back into the game. 4th and 1. 31-yard line, nearing the end of the fourth, or just starting the fourth quarter. That was a really weird error message that popped up. Brightwell does get the first down, though. Brightwell, 45 yards rushing. I'd love to see that. Let's see if we can get a touchdown here. I have no idea what that error message was, but thankfully it doesn't interrupt the flow of the game here. Looking for Slayton in the end zone. Do we finally have our first touchdown of the year? We do. It's Darius Slayton. The Giants are on the G-Man are finally on the board here in New York. I think I missed the extra point. I did not. So 3rd and 10, Teddy under center. Probably still looking to hand this one off. Wide receiver in motion. It's going to be a handoff hit as he throws. Blake Martinez can't make the play. What? How did he get that ball off? How was it not a sack? How was that still almost caught for a first down? Welcome to Giants football. What is happening? I mean, it's this... Man, I just want to see a touchdown to see what happens here. 2nd and 3, Ingram moving, room to run, going to cut this one to the sideline, out of bounds to the 45. Yardage, the Denver Broncos, and are still losing this game by a lot. Ingram, again, one-on-one, and that's intercepted. What? Why did Ingram stop running? Oh my God. I don't even have like words like Evan Ingram stopped running on the route, and then separation closed in. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Melvin Gordon wrapped down for a 1 yard gain, almost 20 rushes this game. I mean, the Giants have clearly, like I mentioned, they've out-yardaged the Denver Broncos. We'll get even more yards in this drive. Just a lot of really bad passes by Daniel Jones is the story of this ball game. And you want to at least make the score respectable. Denver Broncos to be playing prevent defense here, but Daniel Jones still out there slinging that pigskin, and we have 1st and 10. Jones with Ingram. Ingram actually running this time. That's exciting. And now Jones under center. Under 5 minutes to go in this game. Kyle Rudolph, the former... What? Daniel, what is that? What is that, dude? So I decided to throw this ball about right, like, what's the official animation right here, right? So Kyle Rudolph is inside leverage. There's nobody within like 7 yards of Kyle Rudolph. This ball needs to be thrown upfield about right here. And it's thrown literally like, what? Daniel Jones. Melvin Gordon wrapped up on the 6 yard line. That's probably all she wrote for this one. And the Broncos are still running one more play. This would literally never happen in real life. 3, 2, 1, and that's all she wrote. Denver wins a laugher, 40-9. Not the gameplay you wanted. I hope you guys laughed a little bit, but obviously a lot of work to be done with the Giants here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you for week 2. Gotta be better than this week was.